Hello and welcome to Meet the Expert. I'm Jeani from Every Chance and Pure Transformation University. Now, every Friday we're going to be running Meet the Expert, where we have some amazing guests lined up from all across the health and wellness industry. We have so many different transformational leaders coming on, giving their expertise in their different genres, or from everything from EFT, coaching, NLP, EAM, hypnotherapy, growing your business, and more. We have a wealth of transformational leaders. So today I am really, really excited to introduce you to Jo Trewartha, who is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful leader in her field of expertise. Jo is from freeyourmindsolutions.com. Jo is a leader, a coach, facilitator, and trainer specialising in optimal health and well-being. And I just want to give you a massive, massive thank you, Jo, for being here today. So, Jo, I'm so pleased to have you here. Thank you so much for coming.
And thank you, Jeani. It's an absolute pleasure to be here this morning.
Wonderful. So, Jo, I just wanted to give our listeners a little bit of insight into what you do.
Sure. Okay. So my background is in complementary and alternative therapies. And I came into this through my own experiences, really, of being quite unwell over the years. So when I was growing up, I had conditions such as eczema, hay fever, and asthma. When I was 15, I developed psoriatic arthritis, which is a really unpleasant condition. It's basically psoriasis, the skin condition, and arthritis together. So all of those things that I've experienced are what we determine chronic conditions, and I felt quite frustrated that I didn't understand why those particular things had happened to me. One day when I was 15, I was in the library doing some homework for school. It was actually some English homework, and I came across a brilliant book written by two doctors who were called clinical ecologists, and I'd never heard of that term at the time. They're actually quite fringe doctors with some new ideas about environmental medicine, and their book was called Chemical Children, and I felt so inspired by that book at that time. However, when I was at school, I wasn't very good at science. So I would have loved a career, I thought, doing that sort of work, working with children with allergies and things, because of my own experiences, and because of what I'd read in the book that has inspired me so much. But because I wasn't good at science, I just completely didn't go down that route at that time, and I became an English teacher. Some years later, I had nutritional kinesiology, and I discovered I was gluten intolerant. And within 10 days of cutting out gluten, all my pain was gone. I'd had pain for 10 years. So nutritional kinesiology is biochemistry and nutrition together. And so that started me with the fascination, really. And since then, I've been devouring books, articles, workshops, whatever I can get my hands on. And the turning point came when I learned EFT, emotional freedom techniques, because I realised then that I could understand and help others as well as myself with emotional issues, and not necessarily have to understand years of science.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. I can't even imagine what it must be like to live with chronic pain. Thank you so much for sharing that. But with the whole kinesiology, that is literally how I fell into energy medicine as well.
Okay.
Because we took Alfie Alfie's my eldest, a meeting with this kinesiologist because we'd exhausted the medical route and he was so bad with his chest. And it came up the same: gluten, dairy, wheat. We stripped his diet and he came off all of the adult doses of medication that he was on at the age of 3.
Incredible.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
EAM, so energy alignment method. Now, we're both mentors in this, and we both know how powerful it is coming along on our own journey. Is there any tips or advice you would give to people that are not in the holistic realm and that they don't know what kinesiology or EAM or energy is. Is there any, outside of the spectrum advice you can give people?
Yeah, from my own trainings, that I've sort of studied over the years, one of the main things that I learned was that if you've had some kind of shock, it's best to try and do something to clear it from your system as soon as you can with a transformational technique, or try and reframe yourself. Do whatever you can to get the shock out of your system. You might have obsessional thoughts, and be really quite stressed out about something. So a shock would be what we might determine as a freeze moment. And I know we work with these in EAM, and we call them energy reversals in EAM. And we've got big trauma in the system that needs clearing out. So I definitely advise, if something's happened, which we have this acronym in mental health: unexpected, dramatic, isolating, no strategy to deal with it, UDIN. The UDIN. So if you've had a moment which has been totally unexpected, out of the blue, has been really dramatic, you've not known how to deal with it, and you've been completely isolated in the experience, I think the best thing you can do is do one of these techniques that we're trained in, and clear it from your energy system as soon as you can, because it can lead to lots of physical conditions the longer it's there. Okay. So that's one.
So would you deem that as being in a state of fight or flight?
I would. Well, actually, fight or flight is slightly different, because I think fight or flight is a natural survival response. However, in today's society, lots of us are stressed out much of the time, so that probably isn't healthy if you're in fight or flight. If you've got a job that you find very stressful, you try to juggle the demands of family, maybe you're arguing with people, you can be constant in it. What I'm talking about, particularly with a shock, is a new situation, something which comes in over the top of that, and you actually freeze. You don't know how to deal with the situation at the time. It's that moment where you stop in your tracks, like the world stands still. That's what I would determine as a freeze, and that's what I think is, in a way, even more damaging than fight or flight, because I think that really does set up the body for physical damage a lot more quickly than fight or flight. I think people can function in fight or flight for years. Actually, it's when something comes along and knocks them right out, off guard, really off balance, that they end up in a real mess.
Okay, and excuse me, for the people listening, people that have been through trauma and bad experiences, this knock-on effect can even happen years later, can't it?
Oh, totally. Yeah, and people can carry things around with them for many, many years, and they might not even realise, once they get their symptoms later on, that the actual trigger was maybe even 10, 20 years ago. It can go on for absolute decades. Wow, for sure.
One of my favourite phrases is awareness is key.
Yes.
I believe that when you have awareness of the experiences we've been through and the effect that they have on the body, that's when we can really start making some profound changes to our health and well-being.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Wonderful, Jo. And Jo, you've done so amazing overcoming your chronic illnesses to be where you are now.
Thank you. Well, I'm still a work in process, as we all are, really. So I'm still working on my own things, but I've had some really amazing shifts, and one of them, as you know, was with EAM, in which my psoriasis cleared. So that was totally mind-blowing to me, because I'd had that particular round of psoriasis for about 13 years. So yes, that was awesome.
So the power of using your mind and harnessing your energy field and releasing the resistance, as you called it, or energy reversals from within the body, is what helps us release that shock and go back into a state of healing.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's exactly what you went through with your psoriasis, wasn't it?
That is, yes. I mean, I'd tried lots and lots of different approaches over the years. Frustration is sort of a big thing with a skin condition, because it affects you so much, affects what you wear, can affect where you go even, can be just depressing just knowing you're absolutely covered in it or whatever. So yeah, when I had that massive healing, it just really turned things around for me. Yeah.
Wow. So we can tell other listeners out there that have these things, these physical symptoms going on in their body, they can overcome these.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. I think his health beliefs are really important, and a lot of people with chronic conditions sort of get told that they must learn to live with it. And okay, that's okay if you want to believe that, that's fine. But if you do want to explore other things, then reach out, because there are lots and lots of stories of people who are having tremendous healings with the modalities that we work with.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Jo. I just wanted to touch a little bit on the mental health, because it's not something that is very mainstream that people get to hear a lot about. So can you give us a little explanation of what mental health is and how it applies to life in general?
Okay, so meta health is a system. Meta actually means above and beyond. So meta health actually works with both conventional allopathic medicine and the diagnosis that the GP can give, for example, or a consultant, but also with complementary systems such as EFT, or alternative approaches such as traditional Chinese medicine or homeopathy and so on. So it works with any of those things, and we work from a medical diagnosis, and we can track the specific shocks that we were just talking about, the Udin moments, the freeze moments. We have a diagram called the 2 phases, and what we know in meta health is that the body goes through 2 distinct phases as far as illness and wellness is concerned. There's the initial stress phase. So after somebody's experienced a shock, then they might have the obsessional thought patterns. This is sort of like the fight or flight behaviour. Their appetite's going to change. They might be wired, have trouble sleeping, might be have cold extremities, for example, and a host of other things. So whilst all that's going on, their body's actually trying to resolve the problem. And to resolve the problem, what usually happens is somebody forgives, lets go, or they have a real life resolution. So something happens which changes the outcome for them. So maybe if it was a job that was stressful, they change their job. Or maybe they've fallen out with a friend and all of a sudden they've patched it up and they feel different. So that would be a real life resolution. Or what we might determine as is a solution, which is like a conscious, more sort of spiritual approach to resolving the issue and letting go of it. Or they might work with a therapy like EAM to clear the issue up. But after that, the body enters a second phase of healing, which we actually call regeneration. And it's during the regeneration phase that quite often the physical symptoms occur. This is because of the mind-body link. So once the mind has sort of let the problem go, there's another part before the body's fully healed in which there's regeneration. So typical regeneration symptoms might be feeling a lot more tired, might be increasing appetite, the blood pressure will slow down. So it's just generally the body adapting and removing the trauma really from the system. If they are not re-triggered, then actually once they've completed those 2 phases, they generally feel much better. and stronger and healthier and more vibrant. So what I love about Meta Health is it works sort of on a biological level with the body, psychology sort of based as well with the mind, and also socially looks at the environment. So it's all encompassing, and because we know what particular stresses are related to what particular conditions, it gives us a really fast shortcut. So for example, if somebody's got hypothyroidism, they might be feeling or had a situation where they felt powerless, or they might be fearing an attack, for example. Another example might be if somebody's having adrenal problems, their life might be going in the wrong direction. So from a coaching point of view or a therapy point of view, knowing that information is, you know, it's gold dust, because we can go straight in with the clients and say, you know, using the model, what was going on, and then we can take them forward and find out what they want to do about it. If they want to work and have a therapeutic approach, if they want to resolve it themselves with a solution, or if they want to change their life circumstances. So it gives them lots of options, and it's really empowering.
Can you imagine going to your GP and having this option rather than being given a prescription just to deal with the symptoms? That would be incredible.
It would be incredible. I mean, hopefully in the future. I think we're a long way off that right now, but it would be best for the client or the patient really to have as many options as possible and work with. They could either work with medicine. I mean, medicine's brilliant, it saves life, but there are alternatives as well, and working on the mind and understanding why something occurred. It's, you know, it's lovely. It's really lovely to be able to resolve something for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It just opens up every avenue, you know, to taking control of your life.
Yeah. Yes.
Wonderful, Jo.
Yeah.
So we're going to cut to a break in a minute, Jo.
Okay.
When we come back, we're going to come back with, you had a visualization.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'd love to share that.
Our listeners to, you know, enhance their day. That's the word I was looking for. Enhance their day and take away with them from this this chat today. That'd be wonderful.
Okay, sure. See you in a minute.
Hello and welcome to the Pure Transformation University members area.
You can put some joy up on my face, pour sunshine in an empty place. Take me to turn 2, and babe, I'll make you stay. Oh, I can ease you of your pain, feel you give me love again. Round and round we go, each time I hear you say, this is the rhythm of the night, oh yeah. This is the rhythm of the night, oh yeah. This is the rhythm of the night, oh yeah. This is the rhythm of the night, oh yeah. This is the rhythm of the night. This is the rhythm of my life, oh yeah. The rhythm of my life. Won't you teach me how to live and learn? There'll be nothing left for me to yearn. Think of me and burn, and let me hold your hand. I don't wanna face whirling tears. Please think I get them on my knees. Sing that song to me, no reason to repent. This is the rhythm of the night, oh yeah.
If you want to get yourself in front of our audience, then this could be your ad right here, right now. You will be able to get your message out to thousands of people within our marketplace. And if you don't have a video ad, we'll help you produce that too. It can be hard in this industry getting your message out to the right people in a place where they're going to have the time and space to listen to what you have to say. But this platform gives you the opportunity to do just that. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started right now. Email martin@everychance.net or contact us via one of our social profiles and we'll get back to you right away with a way that you can get in front of thousands of people in this space, and we'll put our production team behind your next success.
Hello and welcome back to Meet the Expert, where I have the lovely Trewartha on, who has been talking to us about mental health and chronic disease and how these tools are fundamental for changing your life. Now we're just going to have a little listen to Jo about how this can apply to you as the listener and what you can do in your life to really start making some transformations. So Jo, over to you.
Thank you. So a lot of the approaches I use aren't actually that well known as of yet. So is it all right if I just explain a little bit first about why I use the approaches? Okay. So as we did touch on before, they're pretty much shortcuts in that they help people meet their goals or their health targets a lot more quickly than conventional routes that are a bit more established. So we talked about mental health, and I also use a modality called lifestyle prescriptions that is, which is very similar to mental health in that it uses the same information about the shocks and the same organ mind directly, looking at the links between what stresses and what conditions are likely to occur. But in lifestyle prescriptions, it's very practically focused. So when clients come, we can set targets and work with them on what they want to achieve. And that's absolutely fantastic, again, because it's empowering in their own healing journey. So, so to give you some more examples of that, so for example, somebody with eczema, which is a skin condition, might have had a separation issue, so we can work with that, for example, or somebody with lots of muscle problems. They've probably had a problem in which, or a stress where they felt devalued, and the different parts of the body can tell us more information about the conflict. So that is really perfect for clients in that they can understand, just as I was so frustrated all those years ago, why am I getting poorly now? They can understand exactly their journey and what's happened to them and make sense of it, which in itself is super empowering. And then once we've used that background information, again, to speed things up, a lot of the techniques I work with actually work directly with the subconscious mind. We know the subconscious mind runs 95% of the show. That's well documented now, and the conscious mind is only 5%. So when we're working with the subconscious mind, again, we just speed things up so much faster. So quite often I only see clients for 3 or 4 sessions, but I've actually had some sessions that have been so amazing where clients have only needed 1 session and they've had some really fantastic transformations. So, so just to give you some examples of that, I had a lady with severe depression. And I used matrix reimprinting with her, which is an EFT technique. It's an advancement on EFT, and she was so poorly beforehand. She was on the verge of being sectioned several times, and we completely cleared her depression. And when I contacted her 4 months later, she was still, after the 1 session, over the moon and feeling incredibly different and living her life, the way she wanted to live it. I use another modality called Psyche, which uses the muscle testing that we've both experienced and talked about earlier, the kinesiology. Again, that one works with the subconscious mind. And I worked with a client for 1 session who she'd created her own course that she wanted to get out there, but she procrastinated for years and years and years. So we worked on her mindset, and after she'd had the session, she went home and she just submitted it, and virtually straight away this awarding body had decided that they were going to certify her course, give it their sort of seal of approval. And so that changed her life, because rather than then delivering other people's courses, she could deliver her own. So she was, you know, thrilled to bits with that. EAM, I know you're very experienced with that as well. I've seen people overcome anxiety in just one session of EAM.
Yeah.
And again, still be better months later, which is phenomenal and so life-changing for those people. I use the balance procedure as well, which is very, very relaxing, and people in one session of the balance procedure report feeling so much more relaxed and at peace. So that's super quick as well. With the lifestyle prescriptions, which I explained before, uses the mental health information, somebody in the AM group, they cleared their hay fever using that information alongside EAM, so using the two approaches together. She doesn't want me to show before and after pictures, because she just feels so upset about the before picture of her with the hay fever. But yeah, that was life-changing for her as well, because she'd had hay fever for decades, and she cleared it using that specific information with the energy alignment method. So yeah, and I've worked with tonsillitis as well using Meta Health. All sorts of different conditions respond to these modalities, so it's just wonderful.
That's incredible hearing your story of a client overcoming hay fever. Wow, and procrastination, because excuse me, the people that are listening that don't know what EFT is or EAM, they are a way of clearing the inner blockages from the body. So EFT is emotional freedom technique, where we tap on the acupressure points, which sends electromagnetic energy up to the energy points, a bit like acupuncture, and just releases those energy blockages. And the same with EAM, we can look at what a client is holding in their energy system, aka their subconscious mind as well. It's keeping them stuck in a pattern of trauma, anxiety, being stuck in life, and we can release them. They're really gentle methods, aren't they, Jo?
They are super gentle. You don't need to relive lots of trauma. No, absolutely fantastic.
That's wonderful.
Very gentle. You're welcome.
So, can we take you to your visualization?
Okay, yeah. So you suggested I prepare something for you. So as we've been talking about the mind-body connection, I thought that would be a good place to start. So the mind-body connection is actually really well known now. People like Dr. David Hamilton, Dr. Joe Dispenza have talked about this, written books about this, but I wanted to do something really simple, because although people cognitively know there is a link between the mind and the body, not everybody has yet experienced it. So I've got a little visualization, and this comes from the Expert Patient Program, which is something I tutor in the community. So this is a Stanford approved course, but this is just a few moments of this to demonstrate the mind-body connection. So what I'd like...
Sorry, Jo, do the readers need to do anything in particular to prepare for this?
Yeah, they could just close their eyes and relax. So get themselves comfortable.
Wonderful, thanks, Jo.
Okay, so imagine you're holding a big, bright, yellow slice of lemon. Picture it in your mind. You can feel the texture of the lemon in your hand. Now lift the lemon to your nose. You can smell its strong citrus aroma. Next, bring the lemon slice to your mouth and take a big bite of the lemon. It's juicy. The juice squirts all through your mouth. You can taste the tart lemon juice filling your mouth. The juice dribbles down your chin. Suck the juice from that lemon. Okay, and when you're ready, if you open your eyes. Okay.
Wow, no, that was so funny.
What happened? What did you notice?
I could feel the lemon, and then when it went in my mouth, my taste buds went, and I could feel, you know, where it's quite numbing, the acid on the lemon when it dribbles down your chin, and I could feel that, and my belly's like bubbling. This lemon. Oh my god, that was crazy.
Fantastic. So no lemon involved at all, but you still had very physical sensations there. So the whole point of that is that we can easily, with our mind, influence the body. So if we can do that with an imaginary lemon, what can we do with our health symptoms?
Wow, Jo, that was amazing. I'm so grateful for you being on this call today and everything you've shared with our listeners. And I hope our listeners have absolutely loved this call as well. So, Jo, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Jeani.
This is Jo Trewartha from www.freeyourmindsolutions.com. Just thank you so much for being here. And thank you for coming and watching this. We will be putting links so you can contact Jo and all sorts. So look out for that, and I will love to see you back here next week where we have another Jo who will be here, Jo Tucker, talking about miscarriage and overcoming that. So thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful day.